What an exciting episode of Close Up. I've got the AEW Women's World Champion, Kris Statlander, Stat Daddy in the house. How the hell are you doing?
Oh, Renee, I'm doing pretty good.
You look great.
Thank you so much.
What a huge moment. All out, you become the new AEW Women's Champion, also making history as the first ever AEW Women's Champion and former TBS champion. You're just out here doing the damn thing.
It's about time. It took me a long time to be getting to this point to be doing the damn thing,
yes.
I will say. So.
Sometimes things work out the way that they're supposed to work out. Let's go back to All Out, that moment in front of that huge crowd in Toronto to dethrone Timeless Toni Storm. Talk me through that day. Talk to me about afterwards. I mean, this is huge.
Yeah, I mean, I was weirdly very calm that day. I don't know why. I feel like maybe it's because I knew that it's been 4 years since the last title match that I had, or the Women's World Championship title match that I had. I think I knew in myself that I had been preparing for this moment for so long that before I even stepped out there, I knew what I was ready to accomplish, and I knew that it was my turn to take the throne. And I just felt so at peace knowing that I felt like I finally had reached my turn.
Yes.
I had saw some quote that was actually about me finally winning, and they had said something like, I had proven that what's delayed is not always denied. And I was like, that really is very true, because I always knew that, like, just because of my injuries, just because of things happening the way they did, like, I knew that that never meant that I wasn't supposed to be where I am now. It just, I've always been an advocate for saying that, like, I don't think I would have been the wrestler that I am today had I not gone through those injuries. So I truly just feel like almost at peace knowing that this is where I've been I'm supposed to be the whole time.
Were you feeling or applying the pressure to yourself kind of in like the last little while of leading up to a moment like this to be like, this is do or die, to step up and really secure it at this point in your career? Were you feeling that or applying that pressure to yourself?
I would say so, especially because a lot earlier this year, I really wasn't doing anything too much worthy of being a competitor for the championship. So I felt like in these past couple weeks, maybe a couple months, I really felt like I had to step up my game in a way that wasn't necessarily the conventional way, or even just like not how, it wasn't even just matches. I hadn't had the chance to have the matches all the time, but sometimes with my promos and stuff like that, had to prove that I still was working hard at this game of wrestling, that I had something worth fighting for and something worth giving the chance to.
And even just like the ups and the downs of people being in your ear, your friendship with Willow. I mean, you imagine not only the physical tolls that took, but obviously the emotional tolls that some of those things take. Your ups and downs with the best friends to the Death Riders getting in your ear. I mean, were you finding it harder or easier to kind of lock in and stay focused?
It's tough, because there were so many times that I was like, I think wanting to relive what the past was, where it was just so fun and joyful and happy, and I didn't care about what goals were. I was just happy to be there with my friends and whatnot, and I was just really clinging on to that part of my history and my time here at AEW. And as much as it would be wonderful to go back to those happy-go-lucky times, that's just not where I'm at in my life. That's not where all my former friends were at. That's not where they're at right now. And that's not even where AEW is at right now. We're in a different environment where it's kind of do or die most of the time. So I feel it kind of helps me lock in a little bit, where, you know, you can hear advice from some great people, no matter what they've done in their careers, no matter who they are, no matter how they put themselves out there. And taking advice from people who have succeeded in their own ways is not a bad thing. it's just about how far you're willing to let that advice consume you. And I think knowing what has happened before when I've gone down paths of other people trying to tell me what to do, and having that experience has led me to where I'm at now, where I know that I don't need to rely on other people to guide me necessarily or to be in charge of who I am, but doesn't mean I can't take a few tidbits of
little nuggets here and there.
Exactly, yes.
But there's something very special about finding that confidence at a certain point in your career when, like, you've already gained the knowledge, you've gained the experience, and now you know how to execute for what is best for you.
Yeah.
To be the woman to take out Toni Storm, to get this championship. I mean, she had held the title for such a long time. She was such a cornerstone of the women's division. Talk to me about just like how important that was for you, especially as a homegrown talent of AEW, to now be able to step up and own that spot.
Yeah. So I feel like Toni is one of the greatest wrestlers that we have on this roster, of course. And I feel like there's never been a championship that's been more associated with a wrestler than Toni Storm with the AEW women's belt. And it's kind of wild to be the one to take that accolade from her when you've gone through so much and you still have your own self-doubt and you're like, I don't even know if I'm as good of a wrestler to be the one to deserve this. But I know who I am. I know what all the transformations I've gone through. I've gone through quite a few transformations in my career. And I know that it was, not that it wasn't my time necessarily to be like the one to take it from her, but I knew where I was at mentally to just be the one to step up and take the title. However, I still have that doubt. Toni and I have never had a singles match before. I do have a pin over her from a triple threat, but we keep coming up in these situations where we don't know who really has the best of each other.
Right.
I got lucky in that one moment or in those two moments, but she's bested a lot of other people that have bested me. So I think when that time finally comes, I think that's going to be the true test of who's really worthy, who's really deserving. And I will never, downplay anything that she's ever done.
Your decision to not align yourself with the Death Riders.
Yes.
That was a big moment. They were really trying to offer you a lot to be able to go in and work alongside them and share your success with them. The decision to not do that. Why?
Like I had said, I have been in a position where other people were trying to be the one to tell me what to do. And where did I end up with it? Failed title matches, some wins, but nothing really of note. I don't think that they understood exactly who I am as a wrestler. And they were trying to turn me into something that I'm not. I don't need to be led by them to be a form of a killer. I can do that on my own. I've proven that on my own. And what was the selling point for me, really? What was I going to gain? Was being another person just like Yuta. He claims to be, look where I'm at, but look at him. He gets thrown around and thrown to the wolves and attacked and practically murdered by many people on behalf of Jon Moxley. So doesn't really seem like a fitting place for me. Not that I'm not willing to put my life on the line to defend things that I care about and love and want to see the world burn sometimes, but I need to do it for myself and not for someone else. And certainly not for someone who gives me advice once or twice and thinks that I owe them everything for that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, let's talk the starts and stops. Two different knee injuries that had sidelined you as you're gaining momentum. The crowd seems to have always been behind you. What is it like trying to pick yourself back up and stay the course and stay focused? When, you know, I know the mental aspect of being sidelined versus actually getting back in and feeling good. How did it feel to be going with those starts and stops and trying to keep your career on a straight path?
One thing that it really hit me that people have stuck with me through all of that is when I did win and I heard the crowd chanting the "You deserve it" chants. That's something that I was not expecting, given the injuries, given the inconsistency of where my alliance was. And it just, I feel like sometimes when you're someone who goes through injuries, major injuries, people are almost like afraid to be a fan. They're afraid to cheer for you because they're afraid of getting hurt and not seeing you succeed as much as just being hurt and just, you know, afraid of putting their love and care and time into someone who maybe isn't super reliable. And I knew that I could never be that person to let those people down. If they did choose to stick with me throughout everything that I've been through, I knew that I always had to be someone that inspire someone else to keep going no matter what. I don't like to think of myself as some sort of superhuman, superhero or whatever, but I like to think of myself as a person with the platform and the ability to show others that it's so easy to give up, but it's so much more fulfilling to not give up and to prove that you're stronger than any battle thrown at you. And I feel like that's kind of helped me consistently find my way back to the top, no matter any time that's been an injury that's been thrown in my face or whatever.
Yeah.
I just know that I have to be the one to prove to myself and to prove to the world that I can keep going, and that I don't care if I've been hurt. I don't care if people tell me I can't do things. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get back up there, and I have to. And maybe I'm a psycho person about getting things done, then I always need to get
very disciplined.
Yes.
Yes.
I need to do my training. I need to do my workouts. I need to get certain things done by a certain time, or then I'm like, it's all gonna fall apart. So maybe don't take it as far as I do. But
well, hey, I mean, maybe you should, because it's worked out. Maybe you should take it that
be
far.
a nut job like me.
You have been with AEW for such a long time, and to see the growth of the women's division and the caliber that we have in the women's locker room. You said that you've welcomed all comers to challenge you for this championship. But what do you see from day one AEW to where we're at now in terms of the women that we have?
I see a lot more hunger and drive. I feel like when AEW first started, given I wasn't there initially at the day one, but I was there with, I was like a few weeks behind.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people were very, not relaxed, but people can get very complacent with being like, I have the job, I'm where I need to be at.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of hard work to get to that position, to get to the top. And I understand wanting to calm down and relax and be like, I did it, I made it, but we never truly make it.
Yeah.
It's nothing, there's always so much more to accomplish. Sure, I was the first ever person to be TBS champion and the world champion, but what if I want to be the first ever 2-time TBS champion?
Sure.
What if I want to be the first ever to hold both of them at the same time? There's so much more that.
Ooh, you hear that, Mercedes?
She thinks she's coming for me. You better watch your back, girl. But there's just so many more goals that you can think of and accomplish. And in a world that's constantly changing, it's a little disheartening to see some people not necessarily, not that they don't care, but to see that you put so much effort into it and see that not everybody always, and it's not just the women, it's everyone across the board with all aspects of every single job ever. It's so disheartening to be like, I care so much about something that no one else seems to care about. I don't want to be isolated for caring so much.
Right.
But I feel like today, with the roster that we have now, everyone just wants so much success and just to give such an amazing product to the world. And
For sure.
It's so fulfilling to be a part of it now.
Yeah.
And to have seen it got to this point where we have everything that we need and more, honestly.
Yeah. What kind of champion do you want to be? Who is Kris Statlander, the AEW Women's World Champion?
Obviously, I want to be a fighting champion and prove that I deserve the belt. I think I did that when I was a TBS champion as well. So to just do the same thing with the constant open challenges, I would love to do that. I would love to be giving anyone and everyone an opportunity. But I want to be a memorable champion. I want to be an inspiring champion. And I want to be a champion that when people see the way I carry the belt, they want to do it the way I did.
Yeah.
I want people to have the goal of maybe not being like me or being me, but I want them to see what I do and do their own version of that.
Well, listen, I am so excited for you as our women's champion. We got to see you glowing in the press conference at All Out. I don't think I've seen you happier than in that moment.
It was embarrassing. I didn't know that I would smile so much in front of a room full of people I don't know.
So that's all good and cool, and I'm very happy and proud of you. But can you talk to me about your pigeon?
Sure. What do you want to know? Of course.
She's a versatile champion, everybody. Why a pigeon?
So I had listened to a podcast talking about the history of pigeons. And it was like a one episode thing. It's not like this whole podcast is about pigeons, but it's just the history of pigeons and how they are genetically domesticated since early times and how they gravitate towards skyscrapers because that's like their natural habitat of mountains and stuff. So they're technically called rock doves.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
The rock dove.
Rock doves. Yes, that's what pigeons are.
Edgy and cool.
Right? It's in their biology to be near tall buildings and stuff. So when people put the spikes on them, it's just like that's just their normal home. So that's
sad.
Yes. And that's why they're so calm and comfortable around people because that's just what they've been bred to be like. And I listened to that podcast and there's a war hero pigeon in the Smithsonian named Cherami who all the other pigeons got shot down, but he got shot and he still sent a message to some people to save captured soldiers. It was like 200 people, so he got his message out and he lived a happy life in retirement. And his body is preserved in the Smithsonian. So,
wow, what a hero.
Crazy? Right?
What a hero.
Yes.
And he's like, I'm going to see this job through, shot or not.
Yes, he saved the day. Or he saved
a lot of lives.
Exactly. And I was just very inspired by that because I love when you hear these stories of animals really doing well without having to. They have no need to.
Animals, you got to participate too. We give you little scratches and snacks. What are you going to do for us?
Yeah, exactly.
Save some lives.
Yeah. So when I heard that, I was like, wow, that's amazing, so cool. And then obviously the algorithm hears everything.
And then like, oh, you like pigeons?
Yeah, they're like, wow, pigeon fascination, great. So I came across a rescue on Instagram, and I was like, wow, this is beautiful. I didn't even know that they were adoptable, and they're legally, you're able to adopt them and own them in all states.
Wow.
So I was like, wow, that's beautiful. That's so cool. When we went to London in 2024, that was my first time there. And we went to a park and I got a bunch of crumbs and stuff and I just sat on the floor and I was a pigeon lady and I just let the pigeons eat and they're so gentle with like the way they were eating and like just,
oh my gosh.
And I was like, wow, they're so nice. They're not like vicious or anything. They're just like, oh, thank you.
Give me a little snack.
Yeah. And then I was like, well, I guess I'm going to look into this adoption place that's been coming up on my feed. So I was looking at some, and then we had a show in Chicago around Thanksgiving in 2024. And I got a rental car and I drove an hour and a half to the rescue because I sent in adoption applications, but I was like, I've never owned a bird before. If I could come just so I could meet some and learn how to properly handle them and learn how to just how to take care of them properly. I want to go into this fully educated. They let me come in. They had picked out some pigeons for me to meet, and that's where I met Miniwee, and I got the adoption rolling. So
Pigeon power.
So I went to work. I beat Tony Storm, and then that weekend.
Is that when we were in like West Virginia or something, like the crazy snowstorm?
Yes,
Okay.
It was a crazy
that's where we
snowstorm.
were.
Yeah. So they asked me if I could meet them on a Saturday afternoon, and I was like, yeah, sure. I left my place at 10 p.m. at night. I drove to.
Dang.
I think it's like Elk Ridge, Indiana or something like that. It's like a 10.5-hour drive overnight. I met them in the parking lot of a Culver's. I got handed my pigeon and then I drove home. And I got home at like 11:30 that night. And that's how I got my pigeon. So yes, and I love her so much.
This, you know what? This is what determination looks like. If you set your focus, you can become a world champion. You can become a pigeon mother. She does it all. This is it.
Yes. And I like having slightly unconventional animals because I feel like when people see how I interact with them and seeing how not easy they are to take care of, but seeing just how gentle their demeanor is, or like with Boots, my bearded dragon.
He's a little cutie.
A lot of people are very hesitant towards reptiles, and then I bring him and they're like, oh, he's just kind of chilling.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
He's really cool.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a very good like introductory way to get people to open their eyes a little bit to not just like a dog or a cat or a fish and stuff like that.
Love
So
a good
I'm
golden
happy.
retriever, but there's other babies out there.
There's some other babies that need some love.
Yeah.
So I'm always happy to be kind of like an advocate for the slight unconventional, as I kind of am slightly unconventional myself.
You found your match.
Yes.
Well, thank you for coming out to do this. Congratulations, the new women's champion, the pigeon mother. Let's go.
Stat Daddy.
Stat Daddy in the house.
There we go. Thank you so much.
Thanks.